Sole traders, HMRC thinks you underpaid. Don't hand over a penny until you've watched this first. So what's actually happening is HMRC have started firing out these little brown letters telling sole traders they've miscalculated their tax and now owe more money. But here's the part most people don't understand. These letters aren't coming from a human being reviewing your return. No one is checking your figures line by line. It's an automated system that scans your self-assessment, compares it with whatever data HMRC already holds, bank interest, employer records, benefits, student loans, literally anything. And if something doesn't match perfectly, the system assumes that you are wrong. And then you get the little letter that sounds like a final warning. We believe you owe money, or we believe you made a mistake on your self-assessment. That tone alone is enough to scare most people into paying without even checking. But half the time, the mismatch isn't even your fault. It could be that HMRC logged the wrong bank interest, your employer sent data late, you repaid a student loan that HMRC didn't update, or you claimed expenses that their system didn't recognise. And instead of fixing their error, they put the burden on you. They make it sound like you've messed up and that pressure is enough to make people fold. So what should you do? The biggest mistake people make when they get one of these letters is they panic, assume HMRC must be right, and they pay it. Do you know how many times HMRC are actually wrong? So don't pay it. That's exactly how people end up handing over hundreds, sometimes thousands they never actually owed. Here's what you do properly. Step 1, log into your HMRC account, not the app, the full portal online. Download your SA302, that's your tax calculation. This is the actual figure you submitted. This is your evidence. Step 2, compare your SA302 to HMRC's new figure. They'll usually show a revised number in the letter or in your online account. This is where you ask yourself, have they added income that isn't mine? Have they ignored expenses I've already claimed? Have they inflated my payments on account for no reason? Have they suddenly slapped on student loan deductions I don't owe? Have they assumed benefits or bank interest that aren't accurate? You're not checking whether you messed up, you're checking whether their system has pulled the wrong data. Step 3, you challenge anything that doesn't look right. And yes, you're allowed to push back. HMRC aren't gods. You can request a line-by-line breakdown, ask which third-party data triggered the mismatch, explain why their revised figure is wrong, provide evidence, or file a simple amendment if you did genuinely make an error. But you do not sit there quietly and accept their number just because it's printed on government paper. Step 4, respond quickly. This part is critical. If you ignore the letter or leave it too long, HMRC will assume their calculation is correct and lock it in. Once that happens, it becomes legally owed, even if their data was wrong from the start. And interest begins ticking from day one. This is why people get absolutely blindsided with follow-up letters, penalties, and payment demands. Not because they did anything dodgy, but because they didn't know how to handle HMRC's automated corrections. Step 5, don't try and be a hero. If you don't understand the numbers or the letter makes 0 sense, don't guess. HMRC letters are written in a language that even accountants roll their eyes at. One wrong click and you've agreed you owe hundreds or even thousands more in tax. So how to protect yourself going forward? Let's be real, HMRC aren't going to get less aggressive next year. Their whole system is built to flag anything that doesn't line up perfectly, and sole traders are one of the easiest targets because most people file their returns alone, half guessing the numbers and hoping for the best. So if you want to stop this happening again, here's what actually protects you. Keep clean, organised records, not a drawer full of receipts from Tesco and Toolstation. You need bank statements, mileage logs, proper invoices, proof of expenses, notes of anything unusual like refunds or adjustments if HMRC ever questions a number. You can back it instantly. That's how you stay confident instead of terrified. Stop copying last year's self-assessment. Yes, a lot of people do this. Last year's self-assessment is not going to be the same as this year's. You're going to have differences between income and expenses, so don't just copy last year's and hope for the best. Don't rely on HMRC's system to get things right. People think if something was wrong, HMRC would tell me. They just did, and half the time the correction is wrong. You can't rely on a mass processing algorithm to understand the reality of your finances. Use someone who actually knows how HMRC cross-checks data. That's accountants like me. We know what the system looks for, we know what triggers mismatches, we know what HMRC can legally challenge and what they can't. That's the real protection, having someone who can look at your numbers and instantly say, that's fine, HMRC will question this, or this needs fixing before it becomes a problem. File properly once with everything reconciled. A clean, accurate self-assessment is your armour. When your figures match the data HMRC hold, the system has nothing to flag. No letters, no corrections, no unnecessary tax bills. It just gives you peace. You're not sat waiting for a brown envelope to come through the door telling you your tax is wrong again. So if you've had one of those letters, or if you're nervous your self-assessment might trigger one, don't wait for HMRC to tell you what you supposedly did wrong. This is the moment you hand it over to someone who actually understands how their systems work. My team and I will review your original tax return, check the revised calculation. HMRC are pushing the mistake as theirs or yours, fix it properly, and make sure you don't pay a penny more than you're supposed to. We've seen these letters hundreds of times. We know what's genuine and we know what's nonsense, and we know exactly how to respond to HMRC so you get them off your back and you get peace of mind. If you want your return done right, and if you want someone in your corner when HMRC start firing out, hit the link, get your self-assessment booked in, and let's get it sorted before HMRC decide you owe money you actually don't.